Is everybody here? Ram, is everybody here?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I apologize greatly for the inconvenience. So let's get going. We have a bokken. Let's hold it in our right hand. We're not going to waste any time. Holding in our right hand, right up to the line where the tsuba would normally be. So we're just going to stand in right foot forward, left foot back, good Aikido posture, bend the front knee, back up straight. Let's just drop the sword down by our side, down by our right leg, and we're just going to swing the sword just using the wrist. Okay, so just the wrist moving up and down, like so. This is an exercise just to warm up the wrist, strengthen the wrist, and to also do the same with the forearms. Okay, so we're not bending our elbow at all. Yeah, just doing this. And use your hips just to twist like so. That will pull the bokken up. I will probably call it a Jo much of the evening since we did 2 Jo classes. Okay, switch feet, left foot forward, bend the front knee, just swing it and drop down nice and low. Again, using your hips in a small motion, don't go crazy, just to pull the tip of the Jo up and let it drop. Go. All right, next, let's bring it out. Just go straight out here. Okay, it's a little bit harder because you have to hold the bokken. See, I told you it was going to happen. You have to hold the bokken up a little bit and just cutting to about your own shoulder level. So the tip ends at about the same level as your shoulder. Okay, switch sides. This is just a warm-up exercise, so treat it as such. Don't go crazy. Yeah, you're not trying to injure your wrist. Okay, now we're just going to go straight to shomen. So we're just going to raise the sword up, drop it down. Again, a warm-up. This time we are working the shoulder muscles. Try not to drop the tip all the way behind you. Just sort of horizontal. There we go. And the other side, back on the left foot now. Again. And you'll find, of course, that one hand is easier than the other. But really, if we're doing sword, your left hand should be the one that's the easiest because the sword is a left-handed weapon. Okay, Ram, can we see some people? Oh, look, there's Jan. Excellent. Okay, switch sides if you haven't already. Is that Donna? Donna, excellent, very good. Okay, Ram, let's come back. So, we're going to talk a little bit about grip. I put on the absolute back edge of my bokken a piece of red tape. Now, normally, of course, we wouldn't do this, but the red tape is there for a reason. When we grip the bokken, remember, this is a beginner's class, there's a piece of the hand which I believe the Japanese call gogoku. I could be incorrect, but I thought I heard that once or twice. Gogoku is this line that runs down here. It's almost your lifeline. So what I want you to do is to put that gogoku of your left hand right at the very end, and the line that gogoku, that line that comes from this part of the wrist, make sure you can see this part of the wrist, all the way through the gap between your thumb and forefinger. So this part of the wrist, the back of your hand is pushing directly down on that red line. Now the right hand does the exact same thing. So there's the line, there's the gogoku, the line right across here, and that pushes directly down along the back of the sword. So when you have your hands together, there are 2 ways of holding the sword. There's the traditional Japanese sword work way, which would be with a big gap between your hands. And then there's what I started to call the Birankai grip, which is where your hands are closer together, and it's more like a baseball bat. Now, I don't like calling it a baseball bat but in effect, that's more or less what it is. But your hands are always on the back of the blade. If you find your hands creeping around like this is bad, because when you hit something, it can force the sword out of your grip. So this way, your hands are on top, and when you hit something, it pushes into your arm. So that's the grip that we're going to go for today. So hands together here and on the back of the sword. And the reason we do this is to equalize the power in both hands. When we do the traditional swordsman grip, there's a tendency to drop the sword and then push it forwards. We've discussed this in other classes. So some styles do this, and it's their standard cut. But in Birankai, we want to learn extension. So while technically it may not be correct for Japanese sword work, for what we're doing in Birankai, it's absolutely correct. So let's just raise the sword up and let it drop down. Try and accelerate the tip out towards the wall in front of you and drop it down. So your arms create an arc. At no point do you pull the sword back. Your hands are attached to your wrist, which is attached to your elbow, which is attached to your shoulder. So if you just draw this arc, your hands will naturally come back to your center. So extend and drop. Extend and drop. Extend and drop. All right, so let's move on. Let's put your right foot forwards. And we're just gonna keep our right knee bent. Good Aikido posture. Raise the sword up, extend and drop. Raise the tip up. Tip comes up first. Try not to drop the sword behind you. Push your hands together and out. It's almost like wringing out a cloth. Yeah, so your hands squeeze together. Raise up and drop. As we raise, we're going to pull, bend the back leg. And then as we drop, we bend the front leg. Up and down. This has the side effect of opening our hips. So we raise up and our hips are square. We drop down, our hips are turning. Okay, two hands. Stop horizontally. And again, right now, we're not putting any effort. Okay, left leg forward, right leg back. Same thing. Start with the front knee bent. Raise up, drop. Raise up, drop. Raise up, drop. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. Okay, next one. Okay, again, right foot forwards. I'm going to move back here. Good Aikido posture. We're going to take a step forward with the back foot. As we do this, we're going to extend. We're going to push towards our partner. It's a very subtle movement. We're going to start the motion going, but we're going to push the sword towards our partner's throat. As we start moving, the weight transfers over the front foot. Now our weight is light on this back foot. We move forwards, and this sword is pushing towards our partner, and then we raise up. And then as soon as it reaches the top of our head, we cut down. Let's come back again. We step, light foot. We move in, our sword is pushing towards. Just as our foot is going to touch the ground, we're going to cut the horizontal. So that was piecemeal. Let's do it a little bit faster. So you move and cut. Come back. We move and cut. We move and cut. Let's go left. So left foot is forward. We're going to move, pushing the sword towards our partner's throat. And as this foot lands, we cut. Okay, let me see some people do that, Ram. Oh, there's Ethan. Excellent. Nice, Ethan. Stop horizontal, okay? Don't let the tip drop in front of you. Okay, all the way, stop there. Yes, there you go. Very good. All right. Okay, Ram, let's come back. That's looking really good. There's Donna. Donna loves sword work. Okay, so let's just get in horse stance. In karate, they'll call it kibadachi. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't call it anything different in Aikido. So we have our feet spread a little bit wider than shoulder width. Don't bring your toes in, bring your toes out. We're going to bend our knees so that the knee goes over the toes. So we don't want this to happen or this. Push your knees out. So it opens up the hip. So for now, raise up, raise the tip above your head, drop down. And as you drop, the tip of the sword meets its horizontal line. Raise up and drop. Raise up and drop. Raise up and drop. Raise up and drop. Maintain your back straight, so don't lean over. Raise up and drop. Raise up and drop. Up and drop. Up and drop. Bridget, hey Bridget, good to see you. Go swing your Bokken. We're watching you. The world is watching. Excellent. Good. Yeah, sit, watch it. Yes. There's Marianne. Hey Marianne, we're watching you. So our art is accelerating the tip. Everything drops once we reach the target. Now, ideally, we would be cutting to somebody's head. So that's the most important part. And then the rest is cutting down with the body. Okay, next one. This one's gonna really hurt my knee, but we'll do it anyway. In fact, I'm gonna turn this way. So in the same posture, I'm gonna drop to my left side and cover my head with the sword. Let the sword come behind, square up to the middle, and cut. Go to the right side, sword points to my left. Cover my head, square up, drop the sword down. So try not to be mechanical about this. Yeah, this is mechanical. Just swinging the sword. You have to take, or you have to be aware of where the sword is at all times. So let me see some people, Ron. Ethan, good. Yes. Come to the middle, bend your knees. Bend your knees now. Boom, drop. That's it. Good. Oh, yes, nice. Nice. Let your hands drop a little bit lower. That's it, a little bit lower. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Good. Who's next? Oh, there's Colleen. Good. Yeah, we're watching you. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Bridget. I'm sorry. Good. Very good. Nice. Yeah. Very good. Okay. All right. Let's come back. So let's talk about our basic strike. Our basic strike is Shomenuchi, commonly called shomen. Shomen means in front, nothing more, nothing fancy. So we're going to point our sword towards our own eyes or face. And then with the front leg, which is in this case our right foot, try and get back where I'm not going to hit anything. I'm going to square up the hips. And as I square up the hips, bring my right foot back just a little bit. Slide forwards, turn the hips, and cut. Up, shomen. Now I'm going to get a little bit further forward so I don't hit the wall behind me. Now, as we do this motion, we're going to move the left foot off the line just a little bit. So as this cuts, left foot off the line, just a little. Down and off the line. This opens up our hips. Up, down. When we come back, we're going to come back and our foot's going to drag towards the back foot. When we cut down, so. Stop with your sword horizontally. It's going to look like mine's dipping down because my camera is slightly higher than my sword, so it's looking down on my sword. So this is Shomenuchi, and obviously you can do it on both sides. Again, don't forget to come off the line with your back foot. So that's shomen, the most basic cut. Our next one is Yokomenuchi. Yokomen means side, or yoko means side, men means head, uchi means strike. So it's a strike to the side of the head. Now there are many ways of doing Yokomenuchi. We're going to do a classic yokomen. If you remember, when we go empty-handed, we raise up, we move out, and we strike to the side of the head. That comes from sword work. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to raise the sword, exactly the same as Shomenuchi. We're going to slide forwards and out to the right a little bit. Left foot is going to move off the line. And now our cut is going to be almost Shomenuchi, but it's diagonal. So if I'm cutting directly towards the camera, Yokomenuchi. Yeah. Yokomenuchi. So try not to be too shallow. Yes, don't be too shallow. You'll see why in a minute. So think of sending your sword right here through the temple and out just beneath the ear. Okay, Yokomenuchi, which is a strike to the side of the head. Now we can do the opposite side as well. So Yokomenuchi is almost a disguised shomen. Comes up the same as shomen. The only thing that happens is as you move off the line a little bit, and then the sword comes diagonally down. Okay, the next one is called Kirioroshi. Kirioroshi means to cut down. Not saying that none of the other ones wouldn't cut somebody down, but Kirioroshi is designed to do exactly that. So let's come over here so I don't break my TV. Kirioroshi. We're going to raise the sword up diagonally, bring the sword to our right ear. Push it over to the opposite side, take a step. Now we're going to cut. It's a much shallower, flatter angle, cutting in from the collarbone all the way down to the hip. So it comes up diagonally. It's as if we were wearing a helmet. comes over to the opposite side as we step and cut diagonally. Kirioroshi is also called kesa, named after the monk's robes. So a monk would wear a robe which had, surprisingly, a line just like our gi has. So that's the kesa. So we're cutting down that diagonal line. Raise diagonally, start moving forwards, come to the opposite side, cut through. Raise, cut through. Raise, cut through. Raise, cut through. This is where you hope your cat doesn't jump up. Okay, let's take a look, Ram. Let me see who's doing what. All right, Jan. Yes. All right, cool. Yes. So, Bridget, what you tend to do, I don't know if you can see right now, but you tend to bring the tip of your bokken towards you. This is literally the shiro kesa. Yeah. So the bokken is just swinging up. Okay. So try not to pull it back like this, but just swing it up in front of you. Yeah. So here, swing it up over to the other side, cut down. Then you can do both sides in one motion. All right, let's move on. Final one, final new thing that we're doing this evening is ski. So with our sword again pointing towards our partner. Okay, so we're not relaxed, pointing towards our partner. Now we're going to walk towards our sword. So we're going to close the distance between the end of the handle, the tsuka, and our center, like so. So the sword is pretty much staying where it is in space. We're moving towards it. We're going to move towards it. And once we get to it, before we bend our front knee, we're going to turn the sword sideways. Now, what do I mean by sideways? Let's see if I can get to the right position in the camera here. So I have this ultra slim belly right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and protect my belly. So I'm going to turn the blade outwards. So it's protecting from my left hand across my belly. So now the blade is flat. Yeah? So I'm turning it, I guess that's anti-clockwise, counterclockwise. Yeah? So the red line is moving to the right. Yeah. So from here, I'm going to close that distance. So I allow my arms to bend as I get close. My step comes in just as I'm about to bend my front knee and shift my weight forwards. I turn the blade. It's now horizontal, almost. And then push with the back leg and thrust the sword forwards. So I step, push the sword forwards. Step, push the sword forwards. So you want all of your intent, all of your force to be exhibited at the end, at the pointed tip. Turn, push. So solid here, and then extending your right hand. Again, your hand has not changed. It's still gripping along that red marker here. Okay, and then you can do it the opposite side. So left foot forwards, sword is in front. You're going to walk towards, you're going to turn the blade, this time clockwise. So the red marker goes to my right. I'm guarding my belly with the sharp edge. So if anybody was just to walk in, they would cut themselves, yeah? And then thrust. Stepping in, or sliding in and thrust. Okay, so right side, we're stepping in with the back foot. Left side, we're going to step in with the right foot, like so. So left foot forwards, step forwards, thrust. All right, Ethan, good. Step forward and push, good, good. Excellent, guys. So make sure that your hands are directly on top. Okay, directly on top. Try not to open them up. There you go. That's right. Now step in, push, boom, good. Nice. Excellent. Okay, let's move on since we're a couple of minutes back. Every time we go to Bridget, she has to do something to her computer there. Okay, so now we're going to go through the 3 Kiriotoshi, Jodan, Chudan, Gedan. We're literally going to breeze through these because we're a little bit behind. So Kiriotoshi is our way of dominating. So when somebody cuts towards us, we want to be able to do a minimal movement, cut their sword out of the way while simultaneously attacking them. Now the attack is going to go down the center, but because they're cutting maybe Yokomenuchi, as we move, we're going to be sliding down their sword, knocking it away, and attacking straight on their hands. So right foot forwards, again, tip pointing towards our partner. We're now going to step in with the back foot and raise the sword up. So we're pushing them back at this point. Raise the sword up. Just relax here. Your partner is going to start walking in and doing Shomenuchi. Okay, and because your hand is in the way, they're going to impact your wrist. So we're going to wait until their sword is about here. Okay, so if my hands are up there, it's a couple of inches above my wrist. So let me move back a little, so you can see the feet. We're going to step forwards, push them back with the tip, raise, opening the hip. Now imagine they're coming in and they're stopping just above. And we do this as an exercise. We're going to transfer our weight from the front leg by straightening the knee, bending the back knee, moving our weight back onto this back foot, turning our hip, and then cutting forwards. It will slide down their Bokken onto their wrist. So again, like we did in the Jo class, this is not a retreat and a cut. See how my front leg is almost straight, pushing me backwards. Again, watch this red line. Okay. It's not a retreat, but it's a hip turn. Okay. Up, hip turn, down. So with a front foot forward, right foot, push them back, raise up, and now we're inviting them to attack. As their attack comes, we're going to wait for it to freeze right now as an exercise. Transfer the weight, turn the hip, cut and reach forwards, cutting all the way down their sword onto their wrist. This is Jodan Kiriotoshi. Now let's do it without waiting quite so long. Okay, we're going to step forward with the left foot, push them back, raise the sword up, step back, and drop the sword down. Again, hip turn, don't retreat. Push up, slide back, hip turn, and slide down their sword. Push up, hip turn, slide down. Okay, up and down. Up, they're cutting, they're not stopping. We just cut straight down. Stepping up and cutting down. Boom, good. Yes, good. I'm gonna have to find out what it is she has to do, but we'll do that afterwards. Okay, step forwards and cut down. There we go. Step back. Here's Jan. Yes, nice. He's up. Yes. Come down. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's move on to the next one, Chudan. So we've dealt with somebody who is attacking our wrists. So if you were my partner, somebody would be coming in showman and attacking the wrist. Okay. I say attacking the wrist because that's the closest part for Shomenuchi. Once it clears the wrist, of course, it's going to come down through the head. So obviously, we don't want to be there underneath the sword because that's a really bad position. So another thing that could happen is that we can create an opening. So what I want to do is play a little game of chess with the person opposite me. So if I'm pointing my sword here, the chances of somebody just walking forwards into the tip of my sword is pretty much zero, unless they're really crazy, right? So my sword is pointing at them. What I want them to do is to attack me in a specific way. So I'm going to ask them to attack me. And the way I do that is just by lowering my sword to my right. Now you can see my hands are stuck out into space. Yeah? I'm inviting a smart swordsman to come and attack my wrist. So the response that I expect when I do this is for the swordsman just to come forwards and immediately cut my wrist. Okay, so I open up, wait for the cat to move out the way. Come on, come on, there you go. It's not afraid of anything. This is what's happening opposite me. So I want you to picture this. So I'm just going to raise my sword up a little bit, slide in, and attack the wrist. So you got to imagine that that's occurring. You're going to create an opening that entices them to come in. They start coming to attack my wrist. Now, all I'm going to do is raise my hands up a little bit, more the right hand than the left hand. So it just comes up a tiny little bit. I'm going to push my sword forwards so that it impacts their sword right about here. Okay. So I create the opening. I'm inviting them to attack. I raise my sword up just a little bit. Impact occurs. And now I'm going to push my hands in front. So it creates a small spiral. Let's see if I can get this in shot here. So I create an opening. The attack comes in. My sword is pointing towards them. Impact is made. And now I'm going to do a small spiral. This kind of thing. Yeah. You may have seen this in our Jo class, much bigger, much more exaggerated. It's called Nagashiuchi. Yeah. I'm just happen to be doing it on the opposite side. Normally we do it on this side, but it's the exact same thing. Raise up, it's just smaller. Nagashiuchi. Or Chudan, Kirioroshi. So we stand there, invite them in, giving them this opening. Raise slightly, push forwards, drop the tip onto their hands. Open. Raise slightly, drop the tip onto their hands. Now, as you and your partner progress, it becomes more like this. You open, they immediately attack, and you immediately defend. Open, defend. I say defend, it's actually an attack, right? So now you have to start thinking, is it an attack or is it a defense? Well, you're in a situation where one of you is probably not going to come out alive. So the way you think of this is, I'm going to dominate. Welcome to Kiriotoshi. These are dominations. As they attack, to take advantage of your opening, you attack them. So that's Chudan, Kiriotoshi. The last one, Gedan. So we did Jodan, upper level, Chudan, middle level, now Gedan. Gedan requires us to move into a different stance that we haven't really done so far. We're going to be with the right foot forward, pointing the sword again at our partner. We're going to step forwards with the left leg, pushing our partner back with the Bokken. As soon as our right foot gets into its position, the Bokken is going to come up, clear over the top of our head, and all the way at the back. So this posture, wakigamai, is a position where you can hide your sword. So I'm looking in the TV screen right now. With my hands on here, I cannot see my own sword. Okay, so by all rights, you shouldn't be able to see it either. If you can see my sword out here or back here, I've now given, there you go, there it is. I've now given my opponent an idea of the length of my sword and where it is. When it's here and hidden, so just relaxed on your hip, right? With the tip slightly down, like so. Now they can't see it. So we're gonna move into that position. Raise, push the sword forwards to push your partner back. Raise up over your head, drop behind you. Just feel this position. It should be a natural position. Now, as they attack my head, again, you're inviting. You see, I'm leaning forwards. I'm saying, cut my head. As they come in, you raise your sword above your head, step back, turn the hip, and cut Yokomenuchi. Again, down their blade onto their hands. So right foot forward, pushing them backwards, raising the sword above our head, drop it on our hips, just be in this natural, relaxed position. Arms are extended, but not pushed out. As they attack, they're coming here. We're just gonna freeze right here. Gonna raise our sword, push back with the front foot, turn the hip, extend out, and cut Yokomenuchi down to the center. Okay, once again, pushing up, dropping back. As they cut, they're gonna stop. We're gonna raise our hands, rotate our hips, cut all the way down. Let's do it a little bit faster. Raise up. This is a waiting game. You're waiting for them to attack. They start attacking. They're not gonna stop. So raise up, cut in front. Reset. Raise up, drop. They come back, cut. Raise up, relax. Wait for the attack. Here it comes, cut. Okay? Jodan. Chudan. Gedan. Yeah? Jodan, Chudan, Gedan, Kiriotoshi. So let's talk about making openings. We've already done this for Chudan. We're going to do one specifically for Shomen and Yokomen, and do another one which is for Ski. So again, it's like a chess game. We know that we're a brilliant swords person, right? We're the best person in the room. We're the best person in the country. We're the best person in the whole of the world. We know that because we're a sword saint, okay? The other person, they're smart. They're only going to attack when we give them an opening. So we want to give them an opening so that we can take advantage of our superior technique. So let's start. We're going to hold our sword out, again, pointing towards their neck face area, okay? I'm going to slide very slightly with my front foot, which is my right foot. And as I do so, I'm going to push my sword forwards and down. Let's see if I can do this here. Oh, let's go this side. So I'm going to slide forwards, push my sword down and out to my left. Okay. So what this is doing is this is their sword, this is my sword, and we're touching. Can't see that at all. There we go. We're touching. From here, I'm going to push their sword over and down. So over and down. Over and down. What that does to the recipient of this is my sword is touching my opponent's sword, they're pushing it, and it pushes my sword down like so. So that invites me to attack. So I can just roll with it, maintaining contact, step underneath my sword, guarding my head, rotate my posture, and cut shomen. A normal target would be the closest thing, which is the hands. So they're pushing my sword over, this time to my right. I'm going to step underneath it, rotate, sword above my head, shomenuchi. So it'll look like this. They're pushing my sword. I don't fight it, I just keep contact. Step underneath it. So it's stepping towards 11 o'clock. Hands above my head, shomenuchi. They push my sword, I step underneath it, reacquire my target, shomenuchi. Okay? And that all comes from this single opening, push. So again, I'm gonna square myself up with the camera, open. And that invites their strike here, okay? So you can do that on both sides. We push to the left when our right foot is forwards. If we step back, we can push my sword over to the right, again, offering this hand. Now my left foot is forward, inviting a strike over here. Okay, excuse me while I move the kitten, come on. So that is creating an opening for a shomen or maybe even a yokomen attack. There's another one we want to do to encourage somebody to ski. Yes? And that is, we just want to push their entire sword down. So we're going to raise the sword up just a little bit to come on top and then push it down. So we raise it up just a little bit and push it down. This has the effect of your partner going like this. Now, when you're ready, yes. So as you come down, you work with your body, bend your knees, and now you can come underneath their sword and push. So the difference is the first one, we're going to push their sword away, which means they can come around and attack. Okay? Push it away, they attack. The second one is we come on top and push their sword down. You notice at one point, two swords become parallel, which means that they can immediately thrust. Yeah? So on top, keep the pressure down. Swords become parallel. This one now escapes and can attack. So that's the difference between applying an opening for kesa or shomen and applying an opening for ski. So let's apply an opening for kesa. And now we expect kesa to come around here. So kesa, on. And now ski, push down. That's all it is. Just push down, drop your weight on it. Push down. There. See what I have to put up with? So push down, and their ski may start coming towards us. So we're just gonna step back and turn our hips and turn our sword to protect our belly side. All right, we are really running out of time. So let's go on to the first kumitachi. We're only gonna teach one side, but it includes all those things that we've done tonight. So what I want you to think about is you're standing facing your partner and your partner gives you an opening. Now we could immediately attack the hands or we could immediately attack the head. Those are the two choices. And of course our partner is gonna react based on what we do. So let's imagine that our partner gives us that opening, okay? A nice big opening inviting us in. Again, this is the chess game. So we see that opening, we raise the sword above our heads, we slide forwards with the right foot and cut shomenuchi. they're going to do something that requires us to move. Okay, we're not really worried about that. We're only doing one side right now. So they create this opening, we see it, we step forwards, and we cut. They have moved over here. Now they're cutting towards us. So we're going to step back and capture their sword. They're doing Shomenuchi, we just capture it and slide it down. From here, we're going to push the sword over to our right. This means that they can now do a kesa or a shomen to this side. So we're going to step back and capture that again. So we've done one cut and 2 pushes. So they do this big opening, we take advantage of it, cut the head. They're going to cut us because they've moved over to this side. We're going to step back, just point our sword towards their head, and then just let their sword slide down ours. Now we're going to push their sword over to our right. It gives us this big opportunity for them to cut. So they cut again. We step back and we capture it again. So really easy. They open, we slide in, cut. They're going to cut here, so we step back, capture it, push it over. They're going to come, we capture it again. Just soft hands, absorbing. We don't want to be like chopping wood. Okay, just soft. So let's add one more. They create this big opening. We slide in, we cut. They come over here, we step back, capture it. We push over, they cut again, we step back, capture it. Now we're going to push the sword down. That gives them the opportunity to ski. So they're going to ski into our left ribs. So we step back again and capture their sword once more. So it's 1 cut, 2 pushes, and they ski. So they open, we cut. They're over here, they're cutting at us. We step back and capture. Push it over to give them an opportunity to cut. Shomen or kesa. We come back, capture it. Now we're going to push this down. They're going to thrust. We step back again. Okay, one last time. They create an opening. We slide in, we cut. They're going to cut here. So we step back to capture it, push their sword over. They're going to cut here. So we capture it. We want to make them ski. So we push this sword down. Their swords become parallel, and now they thrust. We step back. Now here we're going to give them one more opening. So we're going to push, allow them to do a shomen or kesa again. So now they're stepping around, they're coming directly towards us. We're going to step back. Our left foot is forward right now. You come forwards a little bit. We're going to step back, raise the sword just up a little bit. Step back. This changes our angle. And now we're going to dominate. This is basically the Jodan Kiriotoshi that we did before. Yes? Pushing arm here, cut. So let's go again. They create an opening. We raise up, cut. Okay, they're coming over here. We're going to step back, capture their sword. Push it over to allow them to do kesa or shomen. We're going to step back, capture it again. We're going to push down, inviting that thrust. They step in to thrust, we step back to receive it. We're going to push their sword over to our right again, gives them this other cut. We're going to raise the sword up and step back, and then dominate, knocking their sword down, cutting at the wrist. One more time. They open, we attack. They attack us. We step back, push, step back, push down, open, invite the thrust. They come in, we step back. We push them down again. As we step back, we raise the sword and cut down onto their hands. Okay, let me see everybody do it. I'll talk through it and everybody can do it. So Ram, find me somebody, find me a victim. All right. Bridget drew the short straw. Okay, so camera staying on Bridget. We see an opening. We raise our sword. We cut down, sliding in. Boom. We push the sword over to the right. That's it. Good. Carry on. That's excellent. Yes. Push it down. Yes. Back. Okay, now you're going to hit the couch. So take one more step. And shomen, domination. Yeah, can't ask for much better than that. All right, let's find our next victim. Pick one at random. Look at everybody turning off their cameras. All right, Ethan. So they create this big opening. We step forward and cut. Oh, just slide forwards. Just slide forwards. I'm sorry. So they create this opening. We slide forwards and cut. They're going to cut us. So we step back with the right foot. That's it. Now we're going to push their sword over and they're going to cut. So we step back with the left leg and capture it. Good. Now we push their sword down. Push it all the way down. That's it. They're going to thrust. So we take a step back with the right leg. Good. And now we're going to push their sword over again. They're going to come. So we step back, raise our sword just above our head, and slide in and cut forwards. Yeah, there you go. Ichi no tachi. Perfect. Do we have one more victim? Oh, here's Jan. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Go ahead. All right, excellent, excellent. Who else do we get? All right, the Cohen twins. Yes, back, good. Pushing over, collecting, push them down. They're gonna thrust, good. Push them over again, and domination. Yes, excellent. The domination twins, awesome. All right, excellent. Well, guys, girls, boys and girls, this has been class number 3 of an introduction. It really is just an introduction. There's so much more. I would recommend, there are various websites that you can go look at. One of the good ones is Las Vegas Aiki-Kai, which is lvaikikai.com. They have a list of actually all the stuff that we did today. Both sides for the kumitachi, both sides for the Kiriotoshi. So would absolutely recommend those. They've got pictures of, or movies of Chiba Sensei and some of his senior students doing these techniques. So I encourage everybody to practice these. You've got space. You don't need to have a bokken. You saw Ethan using a stick. I don't know what it was. If you don't have high ceilings, I mean, look at this. This is just my little thing that I keep and practice. You know, some twiddling and striking stuff with. This works as a sword just as well as this does, as long as you picture what's happening in your mind. Okay, picture somebody cutting and you having to move and avoid their strike and attack them. Okay, picture one step just to move out of the way so that their sword misses you entirely. Okay, work on the grip, getting your hand on top. Okay, try not to let it open like so. Okay, this is a very weak strike. Okay, and you'll notice that this red line matches my hand regardless of where the cut is. Okay, see if I can get even closer here. Okay, so if I'm cutting up, my hand doesn't move. Okay, you might think it's easier just to turn the hand around and cut upwards, but that's not the case. Your hand has to be underneath it. So when you cut, stepping forwards like so, hands are underneath, not rotated around, right? This is the cutting edge. This is where all the pressure has to be, which means your hands have to be pushing down onto that edge, right? If your hands are on top like so, then as you push, your hands break through. Okay? So if all you can do in your house is shomenuchi or torture yourself in the horse stance version, work on it. Work on keeping your back up straight. Don't lean forward, don't lean back. Yeah. Just go down as far as you can, pushing your knees out, opening your hips. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This is actually the last of the introduction sessions. Ram, if you want to unmute, are there any questions or comments or anything? Nothing?
Wonderful class, Julian.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Check is in the
excellent.
mail.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Ethan.